Sometimes, life gives us a mystery. Not a mystery hidden in a book or a movie, but one hidden inside our own journey. Today, we explore a fascinating question: has revealed a name. But whose name is it? A name is more than just letters. It carries a story, a purpose, a legacy. Some names inspire hope, some names change history, and some names remain unknown until the right moment arrives. Think about it for a second. What if the name that has been revealed is not just someone else's? What if it is connected to a dream, a destiny, or even a future waiting to be discovered? As we move through this talk, I invite you to look beyond the surface, to question what you know, and to consider the possibility that every name carries a deeper meaning. Because sometimes, the greatest discoveries are not about finding answers, they are about finding ourselves. So, let's begin this journey together and uncover the truth behind the question: has revealed a name, but whose name is it? A name has been revealed. The moment those words are spoken, something changes. Curiosity awakens, questions emerge, people lean closer. They want to know, they want certainty, they want the story behind the name. But certainty is a strange thing. Sometimes what appears obvious at first glance becomes complicated the moment we look deeper. We live in a world that places enormous value on names. From the day we are born, names become labels attached to our experiences. They appear on documents, certificates, achievements, and memories. A name follows us through victories and failures. It becomes connected to every choice we make and every path we walk. Yet, a name alone never tells the whole story. Imagine hearing that a name has finally been revealed after years of waiting. People immediately begin to make assumptions. They connect the name to a face, a reputation, a history. They search through memories. They gather clues. They convince themselves they already know the answer. But what if the answer is hidden behind another question? What if the name belongs to someone entirely different from the person everyone expected? Human beings have always been fascinated by identity. We want to know who stands behind the curtain. We want to know who deserves the recognition, who carries the responsibility, who owns the story. But identity is rarely simple. It is layered, it evolves, it changes as we change. Sometimes a person spends years trying to become worthy of their own name. Sometimes they spend years trying to escape it. Think about how many people spend their lives chasing titles. They want to become successful enough for others to remember their names. They want applause, recognition, validation. They believe that once their name is known, everything will make sense. Yet there are countless individuals whose names are known everywhere, but who still feel lost when they are alone with their thoughts. Fame does not always create identity. Recognition does not always create purpose. A revealed name can create excitement, but it can also create confusion. Because once a name is revealed, expectations arrive with it. The world begins to project stories onto that name. People decide what it should represent. They decide what it should mean. They create images and assumptions that may have little connection to reality. There is an interesting difference between knowing a name and knowing a person. We often believe the two are the same. They are not. A person can be introduced in a single word, but understanding them can take a lifetime. Every individual carries experiences invisible to the outside world. They carry struggles nobody witnessed. They carry victories nobody celebrated. They carry fears they never spoke aloud. Their true identity exists beyond what any name can communicate. Sometimes the most important names are never announced. They belong to people who quietly change lives without seeking attention. A teacher who encourages a student during a difficult moment. A friend who remains present when everyone else leaves. A parent who sacrifices comfort to provide opportunity. Their names may never appear in headlines, their stories may never become famous, yet their influence shapes futures. When a name is revealed, we naturally focus on the person attached to it. But perhaps the deeper question is why that name matters. What gives a name significance? Is it achievement? Is it power? Is it wealth? Or is it something less visible? Character, kindness, integrity, courage. The qualities that remain long after applause fades. There are moments in life when we discover that the person we thought we were is not the person we are becoming. The name remains the same, but the identity changes. Growth has a way of reshaping us. Experience teaches lessons we never expected to learn. Pain reveals strengths we never knew existed. Loss changes priorities. Time changes perspective. The name may stay unchanged, but the meaning behind it evolves. Many people spend years searching for answers outside themselves. They search through careers, relationships, possessions, and achievements. They believe identity is waiting somewhere beyond the next milestone. Yet eventually they discover something surprising. Identity is not found in what the world calls you. It is found in what you choose to become when nobody is watching. A revealed name can act like a mirror. It forces people to examine their assumptions. Why did they expect one person instead of another? Why were they so confident in their conclusions? Sometimes the revelation says more about the audience than the individual. Expectations often reveal hidden beliefs. They expose biases, hopes, fears, and desires. History is filled with names that change the course of events. Yet behind every famous name was a human being navigating uncertainty. They faced doubts. Think. They made mistakes. They questioned themselves. The world often remembers the final version of a person while forgetting the difficult journey that shaped them. We celebrate outcomes while overlooking struggles. There is something powerful about remaining open to surprise. Life rarely unfolds according to expectations. The person who succeeds may not be the person everyone predicted. The voice that inspires millions may begin as a whisper ignored by most. The individual who transforms a community may start as someone nobody notices. Great stories often emerge from unexpected places. The idea of a revealed name also invites reflection about legacy. What will our own names represent someday? When people hear them years from now, what memories will surface? What impact will remain? Legacy is not built in a single moment. It is built through daily choices, small actions repeated consistently over time. Integrity practiced when shortcuts seem easier. Compassion shown when indifference would be more convenient. Every day offers opportunities to add meaning to a name, not through grand gestures alone, but through ordinary decisions. The decision to be honest, the decision to be patient, the decision to help someone who cannot offer anything in return. These moments rarely attract attention, yet they shape identity more than dramatic achievements. There is also a deeper possibility. If the revealed name is not merely the name of a person, what if it represents an idea, a purpose, a calling, a truth waiting to be recognized? Sometimes names become symbols. They stand for values larger than any individual. They remind us of possibilities. They challenge us to become better versions of ourselves. Throughout life, people will attempt to define us. They will attach labels. They will make assumptions. They will decide who they think we are based on limited information. But identity cannot be fully determined by outside voices. It must be discovered internally. It requires honesty, reflection, courage, the willingness to confront uncomfortable truths. A revealed name may capture attention for a moment, but genuine identity earns respect over time. Respect grows from consistency. It grows from actions aligning with values. It grows when words and behavior reflect the same principles. People may remember a name because they heard it once. They remember a character because they experienced it repeatedly. Perhaps that is why the question remains so compelling. A name has been revealed, but whose name is it really? Is it the name assigned at birth, the name recognized by society, the name associated with achievements? Or is it the identity created through choices, struggles, sacrifices, and growth? The answer may not exist in a document or an announcement. Think. Think it's simple. Think it's something that's over life. Think it's something that's the AO. Think it's something that's one's both. Think it's something that's self-minic. Think it's something that's one's birth. Think it's something that's self-way, that is what AO. Think it's something that's self-aware. Think it's something that Joff has a glarum. And the thing of that, I mean self-same thing it's something. Think it's something that's self-way, that is air. It may exist within the story behind the name, within the journey that transformed an ordinary collection of letters into something meaningful, something enduring, something capable of carrying purpose through every challenge, every setback, every victory, every lesson, every moment of doubt, every act of courage, every decision to continue moving forward when the road ahead seemed uncertain. The search for a name often begins with curiosity, but it rarely ends there. At first, people believe they are looking for a person. They think the answer exists somewhere outside themselves, waiting to be discovered. They examine clues, follow signs, and piece together fragments of information. Yet, as the journey continues, something unexpected happens. The search becomes less about finding a name and more about understanding what that name represents. Every person carries questions about who they are. Some ask those questions openly. Others keep them hidden beneath routines, responsibilities, and distractions. But the questions remain. Why am I here? What am I meant to do? What kind of person do I want to become? These questions shape the direction of a life far more than any title or reputation ever could. Purpose is not always revealed in dramatic moments. Often, it appears quietly. It emerges through persistence, through setbacks, through lessons learned when things do not go according to plan. Many people expect purpose to arrive as certainty, but more often, it arrives as a series of small steps. One decision leads to another. One challenge creates growth. One experience opens a door that was invisible before. The search for identity can be uncomfortable because it requires honesty. It asks us to look beyond the roles we play and the expectations placed upon us. It asks whether we are living according to our own values or simply following paths chosen by others. That question can be difficult because the answer is not always what we want to hear. There are moments when life strips away distractions and forces us to confront ourselves directly. In those moments, achievements may feel less important than character. This recognition may feel less important than meaning. The things we once believed defined us begin to lose their power, and we start searching for something deeper. Truth has a way of reshaping identity. When we discover truths about ourselves, we gain clarity. We begin to understand our strengths and weaknesses more clearly. We recognize patterns that have influenced our decisions. We see where fear has held us back, and where courage has moved us forward. This awareness becomes a foundation for growth. The remarkable thing about identity is that it is never completely finished. Every experience adds another layer. Every challenge reveals another aspect of character. Every choice contributes to the story being written. The person you are today is not necessarily the person you will be tomorrow. Growth remains possible as long as there is a willingness to learn. And so the search continues. Not as a desperate attempt to find a missing answer, but as an ongoing journey toward greater understanding. The revealed name becomes a symbol of something larger, a reminder that purpose is discovered through action, identity is shaped through experience, and truth is often found in places we never expected to look. There is a moment in every journey when a person realizes that the answers they have been seeking cannot be handed to them by someone else. Advice can guide them, experience can teach them, inspiration can encourage them, but the final discovery must come from within. No one else can define the meaning of a life. No one else can decide what purpose should look like. Those choices belong to the individual who must live with them every day. Many people spend years waiting for a sign. They wait for certainty before taking action. They wait for confidence before pursuing a dream. They wait for the perfect opportunity before making a change. Yet life rarely operates according to perfect timing. Progress often begins in uncertainty. Growth often starts before confidence arrives. The path toward understanding is rarely straight. It twists through successes and failures, victories and disappointments. There are seasons when everything seems clear, and there are seasons when nothing makes sense. During those difficult periods, it is easy to believe that we are lost. But being lost and being in the process of discovery are not always the same thing. Some of the most important lessons emerge during moments of confusion. When familiar directions disappear, people are forced to rely on deeper instincts. They learn resilience, they develop patience, they discover strengths that remained hidden when life was comfortable. The challenges they once wished to avoid become the very experiences that shape them into stronger individuals. Fear often plays a role in this journey. Fear often plays a role in this journey. Fear often plays a role in this journey. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of making the wrong decision. Fear has a powerful voice because it speaks directly to uncertainty. It tries to convince people that safety is better than possibility. It encourages hesitation when action is required. Yet every meaningful step forward requires moving despite fear, not waiting for fear to disappear. Courage is often misunderstood. Many imagine courage as the absence of fear, but true courage exists alongside fear. It appears when a person continues anyway. It appears when someone chooses to try despite the possibility of failure. It appears when they remain faithful to their values even when the easier path leads elsewhere. The search for truth also requires humility, the willingness to admit mistakes, the willingness to learn from others, the willingness to recognize that growth never truly ends. People who believe they have nothing left to learn often stop moving forward. Those who remain curious continue discovering new dimensions of themselves and the world around them. Over time, something remarkable begins to happen. The questions that once seemed overwhelming start to lose their power, not because every answer has been found, but because the person asking the questions has changed. They have gained perspective. They have developed wisdom. They have learned that uncertainty is not always an obstacle. Sometimes it is an invitation to keep exploring, to keep growing, and to keep becoming the person they were capable of becoming all along. As the journey continues, a person begins to understand that identity is not something discovered once and then permanently secured. It is something that must be nurtured, protected, and strengthened over time. Every day presents new opportunities to either move closer to one's steady values or drift away from them. The distance may seem small at first, but over months and years, those choices create entirely different lives. The world constantly offers distractions. It encourages comparison. It encourages people to measure themselves against the achievements, appearances, and successes of others. And doing so, many lose sight of their own path. They become so focused on someone else's story that they forget to write their own. Yet, comparison is a difficult teacher because it often hides the truth. People see results without seeing struggles. They see victories without seeing sacrifices. They see the surface while missing everything underneath. A meaningful life cannot be built on imitation alone. Inspiration can provide direction, but authenticity must provide the foundation. Every individual has experiences, perspectives, and strengths that belong uniquely to them. The challenge is not becoming someone else. The challenge is becoming the fullest expression of who they already are. This requires trust, not blind confidence, but a quiet trust in the process of growth. There will be moments when progress feels invisible, days when effort seems unrewarded, times when the destination appears farther away than ever before. In those moments, persistence becomes more important than motivation. Motivation rises and falls. It changes with circumstances and emotions. Persistence continues even when enthusiasm is absent. There is something powerful about continuing forward without immediate results. It develops discipline. It teaches patience. It reminds people that worthwhile goals often require more time than expected. The strongest foundations are rarely built overnight. They build gradually through consistent action, repeated long enough to create lasting change. At some point, many people realize that purpose is not a destination waiting at the end of the road. It is present within the road itself. It exists in the effort. It exists in the learning. It exists in the decision to show up each day and contribute something meaningful, regardless of whether recognition follows. This realization changes the way challenges are viewed. Obstacles become teachers instead of enemies. Difficulties become opportunities instead of barriers. The search for truth also reveals another important lesson. No one walks entirely alone. I think your person is shaped by connections, conversations, friendships, acts of kindness, and moments of support leave lasting marks on a life. Sometimes a single encouraging word arrives at exactly the right moment. Sometimes one person's belief provides the strength another person needs to continue. Because of this, identity is not formed in isolation. It develops through relationships, experiences, and shared humanity. Every encounter carries the potential to influence a direction, shift a perspective, or inspire a new possibility. The revealed name, the search for purpose, and the pursuit of truth all become intertwined with the countless lives that touch our own, shaping who we are becoming with every step forward, every lesson learned, and every challenge faced.